Former First Lady Jill Biden is facing some scrutiny surrounding her interview on CBS Sunday Morning and her new book. During the interview, she discussed topics including former President Biden and his 2024 presidential run, his cognitive state, and his decision to pardon their son Hunter and several other family members ahead of President Trump taking office. She also took time to reflect on some of the tough choices she had to make as First Lady.
And, I'm sorry that we didn't get free community college, but the choice was putting the money into early childhood education or free community college. And even though I desperately believe in free community college, I know as an educator that if a child does not get a good beginning, a good start, that, that they have trouble catching up all the way through their years of education. So I had to make that choice.
Let's bring in CBS News political director Fin Gómez. So, Fin, we are seeing her get some backlash over some of the remarks she made there in her interview and in her book. The criticism coming from people who previously worked with them, as well as some Democratic lawmakers. What are they saying?
Yeah, that was primarily because of the comments she made initially that were released about what she thought of the former president's CNN debate performance specifically, and she thought that he might be having a stroke, and then publicly saying that that he did a great job. So that was really kind of bringing that up. And I spoke to some White House and former campaign officials who say that, that they did have some sharp criticism. They say that Joe Biden is reopening questions many Democrats have spent really since 2024 trying to move beyond. Some drew even sharper criticism towards the former first couple, but her defense of the president's debate performance, again, being a central target of criticism, and the decisions made during the final months, that final stretch of the campaign, have renewed these questions and internal criticism from the former senior staff that I spoke to, and also they criticized his top advisors at the time for potentially giving him bad counsel to continue in the race. But they still also found a lot of empathy for the former first family from their fellow Democrats, especially at a time when the former president is battling cancer. But the overall concern here, though, Lindsay, among some of these former advisors that we spoke to, is that every new interview, every new headline on 2024 takes away the focus from 2026.
Let's talk more about that, because we had the postmortem, which was controversial in its own right. So where does that and this interview sort of leave the party?
Not in a good space right now, specifically to these two issues. The DNC's post-mortem exposed, disagreements over strategy and messaging and the transition, and now the renewed focus on the former first family and some of those bad moments back in 2024. And Democrats that I spoke to, they say they'd much rather be talking about cost of living issues, inflation, the low approval numbers of President Trump, rather than relitigating the last election.
Fin Gómez, thank you.